Okay. So I hope you see the slides and hear me clearly. So for this afternoon, we will talk about why am I here? A reflection on the purpose of life. So the reality is in our life, many times we ask this question, why? Bakit? Because we are creatures of purpose and meaning. So we don't only interpret, we don't only connect, we don't only narrate, but we try to assign meaning to the events that happen to our lives. To the extent na pag hindi yung mga bagay, when things don't make sense, di ba, nahirapan tayo, no? We get bothered, we get unsettled, we can feel so restless because the truth is we want to get an explanation, the why, bakit, especially when we are faced with difficulties in life and hindi natin maintindihan ba't nangyayari. Sometimes we say, wala naman akong masamang ginawa. I did my best. Why is this happening to me? Or sometimes we say, why me? Okay. So actually, there's a famous psychiatrist. His name is Viktor Frankl. He became very famous because he had his own experience in the Holocaust. He survived it, and he discovered that the ones who survived the Holocaust, no, were the ones who had found meaning and looked for purpose. Okay, yung nakakita ng purpose in the midst of their difficulties. They are the ones who survived the Holocaust. Of course, unless they were exterminated. Pero yung iba kasi hindi naman sila executed or terminated, but they lost hope and they died eventually. Okay? So, we are creatures of purpose. Naghahanap po tayo ng kahulugan sa mga bagay-bagay na nangyayari sa atin. And Viktor Frankl even said that the deepest drive of man is to look for meaning. Bakit? No? To look for, naghahanap tayo ng mga kahulugan sa mga pangyayari sa ating buhay. Okay? And one of the big whys we could have asked ourselves in the past, or we're still asking ourselves, or maybe in the future we will ask ourselves, is why am I here? No? I don't know with you, but I remembered when I was young, I never asked this question. Why am I here? I took for granted that I'm here. I took for granted that I have my parents, I have my siblings, I am enjoying life, life is good. So I didn't ask those questions until I read a book entitled The Faith Explained. And precisely the author started this first chapter with this question: why am I here? And the truth is, when I was reading the book, I was intrigued. Parang, oh nga no, bakit nga ba nandito ako? And he developed that chapter in a very interesting way, coming up with several questions, no, which I never asked myself actually. And one question he asks is, am I just an accident? Are you just an accident? Accident lang ba tayo? It just happened, no? Some elements were there, and then suddenly, boom, we're here. Okay. Um, well, while we ask these questions, maybe something clear can a clear truth can come to our mind. And what's that? Number one, we did not create ourselves. We didn't plan to be born. We didn't design our birth. Diba? And we could not have done that because before we were born, before we were conceived, we were not existing. So how can we plan that? So that's one thing clear. We didn't plan our birth. We didn't design it. Now, there's one thing that if this discussion will lead to the truth, we have to accept one reality, and that is what? That we were created. Okay? We were created, meaning there is someone who planned our birth. We were created, and thus we are creatures and therefore there is a creator. Okay, this is very much part of theology, no? That we were created by God. Okay, and even our parents would say, "Oh, it's our parents who's behind our birth, our being born." Yes, they cooperated, we can say, but for one, our parents could not create our soul, that thing that makes us alive. They cooperated in helping coming to come out with our body. Of course, they provided the raw material. Kaya we have their genes, we have their DNAs, okay? But perhaps they didn't even plan that we be born at a specific date, no? So irrespective whether they plan our birth or not, there's someone who really planned it, and that is God. And we go to this beautiful verse from Jeremiah. Jeremiah 1:5. He says, these are words from God, huh? Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. These words confirm the idea that before you came into existence, someone already thought of you. Someone already had a plan for you. So they said that when you are going to create something or manufacture something, there are two parts here. First, that thing that was created in the mind of the creator, meaning the one who conceived it. And second, the creation was actualized the moment the product is done, is finished. Okay? Like in the case of Steve Jobs, okay, before he came up with an iPhone, he had all the concepts, the ideas, the elements in his mind. The design was in his mind. Okay? So we can say that's the first part. Things were being created in his mind. Okay? Then there's a moment it had to be actualized and it becomes a finished product. Now you have an iPhone. So you see, Steve Jobs, before he came up with the iPhone, had already the idea of the iPhone in his mind. Now, if we will ask the iPhone, what is the purpose? Why were you created? Why were you manufactured? And if the iPhone can talk to you, he says, why ask me? Ask Steve Jobs. Ask him. He's the one who conceived me, who thought of me, and who created me. The same thing with us. If we are to accept that we did not create ourselves, then we cannot answer the reason why we were created. The one who can answer that is the one who created us. Okay? So some people say, this is the purpose of my life. This is my vision and this is my mission. As if they had the right to come up with their own vision, their own mission, as if they created themselves. But that cannot happen because reality is we did not create ourselves. Okay? So we then ask God, no, God, why did you create us? Why? Bakit po? Why are we here? Why did you think of me in the first place? Why did you design this? Okay. Now we go to the basic catechism because this question was already asked and it was answered. In the catechism, it says, why did God make us? And the answer is God made us to show forth his goodness and to share with us his everlasting happiness in heaven. Look, God does not need us. God is fully glorified by himself. It's not that he had to create in order to add glory to himself. No, we're not adding glory to himself. He has the fullness of glory already. Does he have any limitation? Does he have any need of other things? No, because he's God. He is almighty. He's all powerful. He is perfect. He doesn't need anything or anyone to perfect him. Unlike us, we need other people, di ba? But that's not true in the case of God. He does not need anything or anyone to complete him. Okay? So when he created, it is simply, when he created us specifically, it is simply to show forth his goodness and to share with us his everlasting happiness in heaven. Here you can see it's utter goodness of God because as we have said, hindi naman niya tayo kailangan. Di ba? The only reason why He created us is He wanted to share what He was having, and that was eternal bliss. He wanted to share His life to us. He wanted to share heaven to us. Kaya makita mo, it's all goodness of God, utter goodness of God, to even have thought of creating man. Okay? So in the end, we can say that we were all created for heaven. Magandang internalize yan, no? To really register it in your mind, in our mind. God created me for heaven. And what is heaven? Eternal happiness with God. Okay? God wanted to share His joy, eternal bliss with us. Of course, one is we don't deserve it. Okay? We didn't ask for it. It's something that He wanted for us. Now, there's one thing that I'm sure you will agree with me. All of us, by nature, it is inscribed in our heart that we all desire to be happy. Sige nga, meron ba kayong na, na meet na tao na ayaw maging masaya? Yeah, there may be people who, if you ask, do you want to be rich? You might say rich. I don't want to be rich. I just want to live a simple life and that's it. Okay. You might ask a person, do you want to be famous? Famous? Ah, no, not at all. Hindi yan ang ambisyon ko. Okay? Some people, you might ask, they want to be uh, so successful in life that you can do so many things. Sabi mo, simple lang nga ang buhay ko. Gusto ko, simple lang ang buhay ko. Okay, so not everyone wants to be really rich. Not everyone wants really famous. And not everyone wants really to be very successful. But definitely, everyone wants to be happy. Even if that happiness might be someone's drawing in my slides, even if that happiness might be defined or taken differently by people, no? That's why for some people, I'll be happy if I'm successful. I'll be happy if I'm rich. I'll be happy if I'm famous. Di ba? Yun yung mga sinasabi nila. Pero hindi pere-pareho. Ang pareho sa atin is we all want to be happy. Now, if we will analyze it as well, this kind of happiness that we seek, the truth is, let's say, what makes you happy to be successful? Okay, let's say you're already the top, no? The top in the company. Do you think you will be satisfied? Many people say, I want more, no? Okay, I want more. And then sabi mo, oy, basta, I remember when I was reviewing for the board exam, CPA board exam, I thought, wow, sabi ko, pumasa lang ako sa board, sa CPA, I will be so happy. And it's true. When I learned that I passed, I jumped like anything. I was so ecstatic. I was so happy. But that lasted only for few minutes. Well, I continued to be happy for the next few days, but not as ecstatic as the first time I learned about it. But after a year or so, well, I took it for granted, meaning, yeah, I'm happy, but I want more. I want a new job. I want a good job and all that. You see, we constantly seek for more. And also not only for more, but you want it always. Di ba? Kasi you're only happy for half the day. You want to be happy the whole day. And also tomorrow. And the day after tomorrow. So ganun po kataas ng level of happiness that we're seeking. We're constantly, sorry, we're never satisfied. We're looking for more. And actually, what we're thinking, and in the end, what we are looking for is a perfect happiness forever. Ito lang po ang magsasatisfy sa atin. A perfect happiness forever. But what is perfect happiness forever? That's heaven. And why are we seeking this thing? Because we were created for it. That is why the truth is nothing here on earth will ever fully satisfy our desire for happiness because we were created for heaven. Kaya we have to accept that. No, we will never be satisfied here on earth. You will always seek for more. No? And there will be times that you will not be happy. Okay? St. Thomas said, there is within every soul a thirst for happiness and meaning. Yan na nga po ang sinasabi natin. But we're not only talking about a simple type of happiness. Hanap pa tayo ng hanap for more. Pa-more. Okay? And then, even in the Psalm, in the Old Testament, it says, my soul is thirsting for you, O Lord, my God. We don't realize it, but the truth is, the one we're seeking is God Himself. And God, we can say, is that perfect, eternal happiness. So, those people who are into drugs, people are overdosing themselves with alcohol, or the ones who are addicted to smoking or addicted to sex, okay? Whatever kind of obsession or addiction, actually, in the end, the truth is what they're truly seeking is God Himself. They thought lang that what will satisfy their desire for happiness is the drugs, is the smoking, is the alcohol, is sex. But actually, yes, at the bottom of our heart, we are actually thirsting for God. Why? Because we were created for Him. We were created for heaven, and heaven is to be with God forever. Now, there's a second question as after why God created us. What must we do to gain the happiness of heaven? And the answer is to gain the happiness of heaven, we must know, love, and serve God in this world. If God is the only one who can really make us truly happy, then, and to go to heaven, they have these 3 steps: to know Him, to love Him, and to serve Him. This is key to our happiness here on earth and the bridge to reach our happiness in heaven. So while the purpose of life is revealing why God created us to show for His goodness and that we go to heaven, here on earth, what will satisfy us is to prepare ourselves to heaven by knowing, loving, and serving God. That is why outside God, we cannot be truly happy here on earth and, of course, in heaven. That is, we don't even reach heaven, no? Okay, so the way to joy here on earth is to take these steps: to know Him, to love Him, and to serve Him. Here, St. Paul, who experienced this great joy, this ecstasy that comes from his union with God, said, but whatever gains I had, this I have come to consider a loss because of Christ. More than that, I even consider everything as a loss because of the supreme good of knowing Jesus Christ, my Lord. For His sake, I have accepted the loss of all things, and I consider them so much rubbish that I may gain Christ. This is coming from a great saint, St. Paul. He's considered everything as nothing compared to that gaining of Jesus Christ. So meaning this is the kind of joy that we are invited to attain while we are here on earth. Of course, iba na po yung level sa heaven kasi forever na po yun. And it's perfect. Dito, hindi pa naman perfect. But the nearest we can reach here on earth is that of having Jesus Christ as our beloved one, someone whom we know, love, and serve here on earth. Kaya po, if you're involved in serving God, wow, you're so blessed because you're in the right path. If you are gaining more and more your love for God, very good, because that's what's needed to have real joy here on earth and real joy after. The saints, if you read the lives of saints, say the same thing. They sacrifice everything, they give up everything for love of God. Sila po ang nagpo-fulfill, nagsatisfy sa very purpose and the meaning of their lives. Okay? Now, this time, St. Augustine, he said, "You have made us for yourself, and our hearts are restless until they can find rest in you." Tingnan nyo, easily they can compose these things because they come from their hearts. St. Augustine, the genius, the man with a great mind, who enjoyed so many things, even things that are so bad. No, he had so much experience in life. He tried to enjoy life in many bad ways until he realized that even in the midst of that, he never found happiness. That's why he realized that really our hearts will continue to be restless until it rests in the Lord. I'm sure you and I, we have experienced those moments wherein truly it is God who satisfies our longing. The only thing is, hindi natin ma-maintain, hindi tayo consistent. No? Now we are fully enjoying God, and then later we get distracted. And then we get attached to our opinion, we get attached to things. So hindi natin na-maintain. That's why it's a constant struggle to really try to know, love, and serve God. Now, we're about to end. Naman, bilis pala, no? So now we go to the next question. Then who am I? Okay, God created me. Am I just simply a creature? Okay, whom God wants to share His life with? And this is the next thing, no? We are not simply a creature, but we are called to be a child of God. No, I am a child of God. So this is how close God wants you and I to be to Him. Not a servant, not a simple creature, not even just a friend, but a child. And for mothers and fathers, you understand what this means. The intimacy, the love, no, that God has for us. Okay? Yung pagmamahal nyo sa anak nyo, that's nothing compared to the love of God for which each one of us. Again, no, in the beginning I was saying, God does not need us. He does not need us. He has no limitations. We don't add anything to Him. Okay? Given that, it was enough for us to be creatures, di ba? He could have just created us and that's it. But no, He even wanted something higher for us. Gusto niya maging adopted children of God tayo. This needs a lot of reflection, no, for us to understand what the great love of God for us. And again, no, it's good to realize that God does not love us because we're pretty, or God does not love us because we're talented. No, God loved us. That's why He gave us those talents. God loved us. That's why He gave us that beauty. Okay? So, and the truth is, after original sin, we were like ugly creatures. No? But that did not stop Him from insisting that we be His children. I think there's another slide. And this is important as well. It is good to realize that God has a plan for you. So he wanted you to go to heaven. He wanted you to be with Him forever. But while here on earth, for you to reach that goal, He has a plan for you. You and I are in a spiritual journey with God, with us, walking with us. So we cannot separate, no? We cannot detach the events of our life as if they are not connected to God, as if God didn't have a plan for us. That is why it is very important for us to realize God has a plan for me. He has a reason why I am here. I would like to know what He wants from me. What is the path He has prepared for me? How will I reach heaven? May plano po siya. Okay? However, His plan is not rigid. Pag nag-fail po tayo, He has a plan B. Pag nag-fail pa tayo, may plan C. Pag nag-fail pa tayo, may plan D. He never ceases to call us, to lead us to heaven. Habang may buhay, yung plan po niya continues to evolve. Okay? Pero may perfect plan po siya eh. Yung perfect plan niya, siguro hindi natin na mapa-perfect. But yes, hindi natin na-fulfill yung perfect plan niya, but we continue to be called to still continue following His plan, kahit hindi na perfect. Okay? And whatever that plan is, it's a beautiful plan, and it is the best for you and me. Okay? Kaya yung mga reklamo natin, no? Why this person? I don't like this person, no? Why this event? This event should not have happened. Okay, maybe it's better that it happened, but it already happened. So God has a plan B for you. And this plan B, plan C, plan D, it's always designed so that you will go to heaven. Okay. Now, with all the plans that God has made, is it possible that we don't go to heaven? Of course, because He only can plan things for us and offer us and call us, but we can cease to obey Him. We can opt to live our lives irrespective of what He wants from us. Pwede naman po talaga. Kaya nga po, it's an invitation. He created us for a purpose, but you might not fulfill that purpose. Hindi po niya ito i-force sa atin. It is there, but you might not take it. The plan is there, but you might not follow it. That is the mystery of our freedom. But God, clear sa Kanya what He wants. He wants you to be happy forever, perfectly with Him. Okay. We'll stop recording.